ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chamber of the Wraith. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be talking about our first guest character. Yeah, I know. I know, it's the Terminator, but, I mean, he's here, I gotta talk about him, and quite frankly, I think there is something that you can do with the Terminator, or, excuse me, a few things you can do with the Terminator, to keep things a little more interesting. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, and probably the most controversial thing, is, well, first off, why is rolling ion grenade 2 slots? Is it because it's a low? I don't know. This feels like it shouldn't be a low. Or there shouldn't be 2 slots. And while I see it conflicting with Cyber Rift, because Cyber Rift is 1 slot, I don't know. I personally feel like it shouldn't be 2 slots, but that's neither here nor there. Nor should Endoskeleton. But we'll talk about the 2 banned moves that Terminator has. Terminate first, because what is Terminate? It's a buff that gives the Terminator armor, but disables his ability to block, dash, and jump. Mans becomes a killing machine, armored, unstoppable, unfeeling. And quite frankly, this attack should not be banned. I know. Sounds a little bonkers when I say it out loud, but let me elaborate. First off, you can very easily change Terminate. You can very easily change Terminate because it itself is a 1-slot move, and giving yourself basically permanent armor while you're walking around is crazy. That should be 2 slots, first off. Second off, to give yourself this armor, it requires 1 bar of offensive meter and 1 bar of defensive meter. Let's change that so that it costs 2 bars of defensive meter. This costs you a full breakaway in order to use. Seems a bit steep, but again, you get armor. You become unstoppable. For the most part. And for that, we're actually going to go into practice mode for this one. Now, here's the thing about Endoskeleton as well. I generally think Resurrects should be buffed and unbanned, because right now, Resurrects are terrible. They are awful, especially the Terminators. But
the Terminator.
On that topic, we'll start with Time Machine, and let's pick a character with a really good armor break, because that is going to be the main thing that we're going to talk about, is the fact that there are so many armor breaks out there that, yeah, let's do, for our next character, let's do Sub-Zero. Yeah, let's do Sub-Zero now.
Tournament.
Alright, so, I kind of spoiled where I was going with this, but because armor breaks are introduced across the board and can be added, i.e. for Johnny Cage and for Sonya Blade, there is now no real reason that Terminate should be something to worry about. Now, I did clear the armor with the crushing blow, but even if he didn't have it, I can clear it right away. And yes, he doesn't suffer from a debuff or anything, but an armor break is an armor break, and the fact that it gets rid of it right away, and Terminator still has to wait for bar to regenerate in order to come back, means that I think you could make an argument for Terminate being unbanned, especially considering that a lot of characters, a lot of people generally run in the meta with armor break attacks of some description anyway. And some of them have it universal. That's why I picked Sub-Zero, because Sub-Zero has his universally in 4-4. And remember, when Terminate is active, Terminator can't block. Terminator can't block at all. He relies on his armor being active in order to save his ass. Now, a smart Terminator, of course, can predict this, but what Terminator is going to be able to is going to be able to intercept certain armor breaks. Kitana's Square Wave, Spawn's War Club. These Collector's Relic Absorb. These attacks break armor, have good range, and have devastating effects, whether that be a crushing blow or a launcher or what have you. And I'm not actually going to do Sub-Zero next episode, but suffice it to say
The Terminator.
that I don't think necessarily that Terminate has to be banned. Could it stand to be changed a little bit? Yeah. I can see it. I can see this standing to be changed in order to make it more worth it, but otherwise, yeah, I don't think Terminate should be banned. Strong, yes. But when Dragon's Dance, which very recently got nerfed, was allowed to be running around in its original state for one slot, I think Terminate could stand to have a couple of changes to make itself unbanned.
The Terminator.
And I can't really demonstrate this, but I think Endoskeleton should be unbanned as well. As it stands right now, Endoskeleton is awful. You're only able to withstand a single attack below 50 health. I think, as well as that then, Endoskeleton should be buffed. When Terminator goes down, he should be able to get up with 100 health. Not much, and a single uppercut is still enough to take him down, but there aren't very many other attacks. In fact, I don't think there's any other single attacks that do a single clean chunk over 100 damage. You know what I mean? So I think Endoskeleton should be unbanned because of that. Another change I think I would like to see, is... I'm just trying to make sure that that there are any other moves that I can think of that need changes, which I don't think there is. Right now, Terminator's in a pretty good spot. Outside of, like, rolling Ion Grenade, probably getting dropped a slot. That's about it. And I can't think of anything really new for the Terminator, short of maybe him getting a new attack where he pulls out a minigun, just like in Terminator 2. But, yeah, that's about it. One rant I do want to say, though, however, is Incapacitator. This move blocks you from using any and all meter options. Right? Scarlet's Blood Clot does the same thing with the added benefit of preventing canceling into special moves. Okay? Why? Why is Blood Clot banned when it is a trap that you can avoid in order to get that extra benefit? When the Terminator's Infiltrator is a straight... Well, I'll have to pick Sub-Zero again, so I guess I'm going to have to do him next episode. When the Terminator's Infiltrator is a straight projectile, which is objectively harder to avoid than a very obvious big red blob. Like, seriously. Let's look at this. Does it replace Shotgun? Okay, another thing, it's unblockable. And but it replaces Shotgun. Note how quickly that covers ground, though. If Sub-Zero were ducking, then yes, he could potentially avoid it, even at full screen. But otherwise... Oh, that is just funny. Look, it passes through his head, even though... It just passes through his head, even though it kind of has that low arc thing. But that's the thing. Infiltrator's a straight-up projectile. It is harder to avoid, and you can actually combo into it very quickly, just like that. Now they can't use meter. Scarlet can't do that. It feels like NetherRealm has almost gone out of their way to make Scarlet a bad character, alongside Shao Kahn, because they needed a bad character. Those come naturally! You don't need to change any of that. Oh, there is one more change I do want to see, and that is Terminator getting a little more health. Just from a lore perspective, because RoboCop very recently got 1,050 health, so let's give Terminator a little extra health boost too. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll find plenty to talk about with RoboCop, because the poor bastard is one of the worst characters in the game, in and of his own right. But, that is going to do it for this video. Don't forget to be awesome, and I'll see you guys on the other side.